Hey, everybody. Oh, Lord. Somebody help me. This is another unannounced live, and I just needed somebody to talk to. Oh, my gosh. This whole situation since the hurricane, and oh, my God, this whole stuff is just driving me crazy. All right. Gonna kill some time. Normally, I like this time of day because of the sun, but when you're out here on the lanai, it's very bright. It's like 4:35 right now. For the next 2 hours, it's going to be really bright, and it's hard to see. And I know it gets dark out here, but oh man, the hurdles I go through down here with this elderly mother with dementia, it's driving me nuts. But well, I'm going to kill some little time here and update a couple things going around her residence. Something positive did happen in the past week or so. The lawn care company, they're pretty much pretty good outfit, and it's called Treehouse Landscape or Lawn Care or whatever they're called, and the main owner is a guy named Caesar, really nice guy, and it's a gated community. So basically, like in these gated communities, you pay like, I forget what it is. It's not a real big yard. You pay like $90 a month, and you get all your your grass cut. They blow off all the leaves, and they trim up all your bushes periodically. It's not, these aren't real big yards. So, but I think it's an outstanding fair rate. So anybody who's new popping in, I know this StreamYard thing, sometimes it shows people in, so not, I don't know how accurate this thing is, but I'm going to lead up to a story. I can almost guarantee you the mother's going to come out during this. I'm so pissed off right now. But anybody who's been watching my channel for a while understands the struggle with the power of attorney and that whole process. It's a real pain in the backside. I don't wish it on anybody. It's extremely unfair, and logic would tell you the person living closest to the person with the needs should have some part in that process. So I've been obviously living here in this residence and trying to get some things done, and so I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. So anyway, getting back to the lawn care company, the guy says to me, he goes, "Yeah, your grass is pretty much dead. I don't think your sprinkler system's working." He says, "My father, does sprinkler work." Hello, Rita. How are you? It's always nice to see you. Thank you. So I'm like, yeah, just, we're going to look at your system. I said, great. So I didn't know if it was off. I really don't know much about these programmable sprinkler systems. I haven't, lived here. It's always been handled by somebody else, so, and then it's quite obvious that, hello, AKW. Thank you for popping in. So they start trying to check. It's like, it apparently has 3 zones. They're definitely getting power. The water, somehow they're not getting water. They're checking all these things. We're checking this valve box. And so that was about a week ago. They come back today and, yesterday, and now they're addressing it. There was this one main valve box next to this large tree. So anybody with any common sense is probably going to see the problem here. And so they end up digging real deep, and there's like a bazillion roots. Like the smallest root was probably like 2 inch size of an inch and a half or 2 inch PVC. The rest of the roots were this big, and then like some like this. And there was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 roots, like really big roots. Like this valve box, whenever they planted this tree, was way too close to the tree. The whole system was, nobody really anticipated the growth of the tree, the type of tree. So they're doing their thing, and they're cutting roots. Pretty much okay. I just want to make sure, like, hey, just give me an idea. What's the maximum price? Just we have a ballpark figure, something to work with. I'm not in control of the funds, And he said, nah, he said it probably won't be more than $400. I'm like, all right, and then, have at it. There was one sprinkler head that's not working. Trust me, I'm going to get to the other juice here. I'm just trying to finish this story, then let you know about this other problem we're running into. So they're out there busting their behind, doing all this stuff, cutting all these roots out. It's not like, in and out, you just reprogram the thing and leave. No, it's PVC. As these roots grew, it basically just separated the PVC from the elbows and all that, and there was a major leakage. Like, we're talking like inch and a half separation there. Plus, it was putting so much pressure the way it was configured on the PVC that it's going to create more damage. So they did the right thing. They cut out a bunch of roots. They fixed all the problem. The guy comes back today. They reassemble everything, make sure the glue was dried, everything was good. They weighed it, and everything's good. They test the system, everything's worked, and everything's peachy, everything's looking grand. So they get the sprinkler system work. And then the father comes back later, and he's the sprinkler expert. So he's checking all the heads and make sure, so they put in some time. Great service they're providing. Really, really fixed the problem. So honestly, what I'm not sure what the invoice is going to be, but they pretty much guaranteed it would not be over $400 for all the things they did, and with three laborers and all that. I'm okay with that, because the neighbors aren't real happy with dead grass being next to them. It's not helping their property value. Eventually, this house is going to be sold. So now let's get on to this thing we call dementia. And no doubt my mom's going to come out and interrupt this broadcast. But I'd say probably a good month and a half ago, I bring in the mail for her, and, most of the time, and I like to open the mail with her. I don't like to be too nosy, but I just want to make sure she knows what she's doing. So when I say a month and a half ago, this may have been 2 months ago. I don't know, but it's been a while back. She gets a notice from her homeowner's insurance, and her bill is like almost $2,600. That's what happens when you live in Florida and Category 5 zone and all that stuff. So there was like 3 options. You could do it in like 3 payments, 2 payments, or just pay it in full and all this. So I told her, I said, look, this part hurts me. It when I say hurts me, it like ticks me off, and that's not the words I want to use. But so I specifically said, she has some other bills. I said, don't pay any of these yet. I said, let your power of attorney review all these documents, see what they think is the best way to handle this. Like, because apparently I'm like a village idiot, and, I can't help. It's like a power kick is what it is. But anyway, so and then, I walk by the dining room table, and she's moved all the papers, and I keep telling her, no, just leave this stuff out. Your son's coming in a couple days. Leave this out so he can review all your bills and figure out what he thinks is the best way to pay these bills. So, so it goes on and on and on and on. And I'm thinking it's already been handled. I'm not really involved in the bills. I just did glance through her checkbooks. She's pretty good at still documenting things like that. So certain things she still really does well. But she just got a notice today saying her insurance is going to cancel in like 9 days. And I'm reading this, and now I'm really ticked off, because This has already been addressed and not handled. So we're going through this, and my mom has last month's pension check from her husband, 2 pension checks, and then what she just got like a day ago, 2 pension. So it's decent amount of money. It's not, it'd be life changing for me, not really for her, but so we're trying, so now I'm like livid. She keeps wanting to do things her way. I'm keep trying to be the sensible one. Just listen, Mom, just please listen to me. The other guy was non-existent for like a month or whatever, for a really long time. And he wasn't taking any of her calls, all this stuff. He lives like 2 hours away. So now I'm like, all right, I'm taking the bull by the horns. Enough of this BS. So I tell her, I said, just get your checks, write your deposit slip. I'll review it. We need to get this money in the bank. And I'm looking at in there. And I said, don't call them yet. I said, let's make sure you have the money in the bank. Let's get this money in the bank. This insurance company's in Orlando, so it's about 4 or 5 hours away, whatever it is. So I come back in the kitchen. Oh yeah, she didn't do anything I asked her to do. She's calling them, and like I get really ticked when she's on the phone with people because people can talk her and like, no, you need to pay this now, or you owe us, $23,000, whatever. She's can be easily swindled. So I told her, don't call them. Just write your, now I'm like really getting PO'd. I said, hang up from them. I said, just write your damn deposit slip. Let's get the money in the bank. Let's wait to talk to the power of attorney. We can figure this out. But the first thing you need to do is write your deposit slip. Let's get your money in your bank account so we can cover this, because there's another $400 bill coming up for the sprinkler people. So, she's mad at me, she gets very angry. She treats me like the enemy sometimes. And I'm the only one here living with her and got to put up with her nonsense every day. And here I'm trying to help her, knowing her mental capabilities are failing. I know what the options are, and I'm trying to do everything I can to help her. But she's not listening to me. She's trying to do her own program. Well, her own program has failed since July or whatever it is, since she's gone downhill. She still thinks she's sharp in the head and has all these issues, but I'm looking at her right now. This is like pissing me off so bad. She's still rereading this document, probably for the 85th time. She's looking at it, trying to comprehend it. She thinks this is the first notice. It says like final notice. Well, she's probably gotten 2 of these damn things, right? Prior to this one. So she just keeps I'm looking at her. She just keeps staring at this document. She doesn't comprehend what's going on. She thinks it's a first notice, and I'm telling I'm losing my patience, right? I'm trying to tell her, no, you've already got it. We left it out. This is supposed to have been handled. That's why you have a power of attorney. So this has been going on for a while, and oh my gosh. So now I can narrate this. She is staring at this document. Now she's calling them again one more time. And they can tell her whatever they're going to tell her. And in 3 minutes, she's not going to remember this conversation. So I'm just going to watch. I'm not going to narrate the whole thing, but this is just shows you an example of what I'm going through. And it's very frustrating. The person with all the control lives the furthest away and is on his own agenda, so to speak. So, yeah, so I didn't want to come on here and bitch and moan, but you guys are my family, all 2 or 3 of you, whatever's in here now. And it's just like, I really don't wish this on that. This whole process since the hurricane it, it's going to be the death of me. I can promise you that, right? I can already see, what's going to happen going forward. It's going to be an ugly situation. Um, she's still looking at the document on the phone. Who knows? And oh my gosh, it's like, unfortunately, I've been here a lot to supervise a lot of things, but I'm not here all the time. And I have no idea what she does on the phone when I'm not here. So it's it's super ugly. It's super ugly. I honestly, this is going to sound terrible. Um, she's still looking at the document. Oh my God. Like, that's how long it's not. It's a 1-page document. There's a box down in the bottom right corner telling you, the two minimum amount due and the total amount due, expiration date. And this is going to sound horrific, but this is how I feel. I just want this whole process to be over with, because her quality of life is terrible right now. And like I said recently in a broadcast, it's not like you have the flu and you're going to recover and be okay in 7 days. No, unfortunately, with this disease, you're going to decline more and more. There's going to be different signs. Um, Somebody was talking to me about, I think it was the neighbor, and she had a relative that went through it, and um, said that they can get um, mean and angry. And I said, well, I really haven't experienced much of that. She gets mad when I'm trying to advise her on things, and sometimes I have to raise my voice, not yell, but raise my voice, and then she starts acting like I'm yelling at her. I'm like, oh my God, like I just want the message to sink in. And it's the Jason, the notice, what you said, what kind of notice? It's notice that her homeowner's insurance policy is going to expire it'll be expired on March 10th. We are March 1st. And she had this previous notice or notices probably at least 2 months ago. I can tell you I can say it was probably at least 7 weeks ago, the one that I read and left out for the power of attorney and all that stuff. So um, I'm just trying to get her money in her bank account so we can at least send this out right away. The minimum payment of 709 or whatever the minimum payment was. Just I need to be a problem solver, because even though it's not my responsibility, I mean, that sounds wrong. It's the responsibility of the power of attorney. That is not me. There should be dual power of attorney. That's another story and argument. But so I think what she's doing right now is it looks like she's writing a check. It can't go in the mail until I put it in the mailbox anyway. But so it does not look to me like she created her deposit slip yet, because it would be 4 checks. I don't see them, but it looks like she wants to pay this insurance bill. You got to get the money in the account first, because I'm pretty sure somebody is removing those funds to go to another account for whatever reason. I'm just going to leave it like that. So I was recently informed that there's only, when I say recently, a week or two ago, there's only like $1,000 in that account, which once had $27,000 in it. So I'm like, all right, there could be explanations for that, and could go to a separate investment fund that I don't know about, that I'm not privy of. Could go to a separate account for future assisted living or something like that. I don't know. This whole situation is really ugly. But so she's writing a check. She's not writing the deposit. So it just, and what really sucks is I'm kind of trapped in this whole situation. I'm living here. If I wasn't living here, she would be a train wreck. I mean, she's already headed down the tracks. But um, if I get full time employment, which I've been trying to do, but it's something I want to do, I need to do, but I don't want to do because I know what's going to happen if I'm not around to, excuse the expression, babysit. Um, so I'm here trying to guide her, and she's still fighting me. Imagine what's going to happen when I'm not here. She's already tried to pay some bills in the past from 6 months prior that she had already paid. It's just she'll I don't know. She pulls out old invoices. It already says at the top paid on June 1st, whatever and then she thinks she just got it in the mail and trying to pay it. So it's hard. She has her her wish is to not be put in a home. So it's looking very difficult at this stage. Um, she wants to expire in her own residence. I totally respect that. But man, it's like it fires me up when she's not listening to me today and somebody else is not doing their duties like who I feel up to the standards. But as much as it hurts me to say, I always try and give the other person the benefit of the doubt, because with her, you never know what's going on. But I know one specific day, all the bills were laid out the day this power of attorney was to arrive. They were all on the dining room table. Saw him going through all the bills, and so I know it's been viewed, not been handled. So it's I really don't like doing these lives, to be honest with you. I'd rather get on here and tell jokes and listen to other people, and but it's been a boring day. She's still writing the same damn check. Trust me. Oh boy. So I'll have to go and look at her carbon copy ledgers. She's not mailing anything, and the mail's already come today. I'll just, and I guarantee she's going to forget about depositing the checks. Now, here's the other thing I've said frequently. She does not comprehend that she no longer has car keys. Those car keys are 2 hours away with the power of attorney. And the tags are expired, which were supposed to have been resolved so that person could take her to medical appointments when he shows up. So, and this is where I get really fired up, because I understand the disease. I don't think the disease understands what it's doing to me. It's like, I don't want to sound like the victim, but in a way, we're like dual victims. She does this like 4 or 5 times a week. Will say, she says, are you parked behind my car? I said, I'm parked in the driveway. She goes, all right, well, I'm going to be driving to the bank. I said, I just looked at her like, and I hate to be harsh or difficult. I'm just trying to find a way for the message to sink in. And I just looked at her and I said, well, think about what you just said. Think about what you want to do, and just think for a minute. Just please think for a minute. And she's looking at me kind of funny. I said, so I'm like, all right, so how are you going to get there? And then she remembers and gets all pissed off, right? Then she can't go in my van. My van is too tall for her. She's too fragile, and my air conditioning barely works. So, trust me, I struggle in my van. But it just it would, somebody as weak and fragile as she is with her mental her physical capacity, like physical and mental capacity, is oh man, I'm not looking for attention, to be honest with you, but I just wanted to talk to somebody, and it helps me see other people have dealt with it somewhat. It's just pretty much, what I've told her not to do, she's doing. And so I almost feel like I'm just going to let the whole process fail. And then I can, when the power of attorney starts scratching his head, wondering what happened. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, what happened? So I'll have to go in there and review how many checks she's sending them. God knows, she might be writing them 3 checks for the same amount. Who the hell knows? And I guarantee the deposit slip's not been filled out yet. But so I said this earlier. I just want this whole process to be done with. It's not the path going forwards. Her quality of life is already terrible. She's in bed 20 or 21 hours a day, pretty much doing nothing. And then when she gets up, sometimes she gets a little burst of energy, tries to do productive things. But here's another example of just stuff I deal with daily. I'll bring her the mail, and then she'll be walking out the front door. I'll be like, "Where are you going?" She goes, "I'm going to check the mail." And I just, some days I tell her I already checked it, already gave it to you like 10 minutes ago. Or some days I just let her go for a walk. But when that happens, I worry about her falling, hit her head or something like that. So I know what's best in this situation. It's not really it's out of my hands, unfortunately. So she's in probably about 40 minutes or a half hour, she's not going to remember any of this. And she was pissed at me. She was yelling at me. And here I'm just trying to guide her. And I keep telling her, it's like, why are you yelling at me? I'm the only one here with you, guiding you through this process. I said, do you see anybody else here with you every day? And I'm trying to say that calmly, but sometimes, man, it can really wear on you. Like when it feels like somebody's insulting you or degrading or demeaning towards you, and you're trying to have their best interest at heart. It's not a good thing. She's picking up this letter, this notice again, and still looking at it. This has been going on for like a half hour now. So anyway, folks, I'm hoping to watch some other broadcasts tonight, some premieres, what have you, and it just, this time of day really stinks. It is 5:03 Eastern time, and I can't wait for the sun to go down. Once the sun goes down, I can see the laptop a little bit better. So about another hour and a half, and I can see better. And sorry if well, hey, Ken, listen to this, brother. I kid you not. The power of attorney recently was MIA for 5 weeks. The problem, when you call him, he never answers the phone, and the voicemail box is always full. Not a very good thing. So supposedly he was ill for that period of time. But I can tell you, for the last 2 weeks, my mom has been very upset because she's been calling him and he wasn't answering the phone or calling her back. And so once again, the his voicemail box is full and all this stuff. So once me trying to be realistic about the situation, I keep thinking, all right, well, maybe he did talk to her and she doesn't remember. So I'm trying to think of all, like what you call the devil's advocate or whatever. Look at all possibilities. And so when he showed up, I think it was yesterday. He shows up yesterday. He was only here for a couple hours. I try and stay away for fear of what could happen. And so when I finally pull up, I didn't know he was going to be there. I had a feeling, I thought he was going to come the next day, which would have been today. And he says, I'm going to go do some errands. And he had some papers, I assumed they were bills. Who knows? I don't know what, So he says, I'll be back around 11. So I'm like, all right. So that was it. I just walk away, go in the house and just let him go do his thing. And I realized, all right, I need to spend the whole day away from this house. I don't want to be a part of this. So the other thing I keep telling her, like, are you sure, the other party hasn't taken care of this? So it's like, one you can't get a hold of, and the other one you doesn't comprehend half the stuff you're trying to say or get them to comprehend or fully understand. So it's man, you talk about difficult. But anyway, so I'm going to get off. I'm going to go see how many checks she wrote, how much the check amount was for, if she wrote the deposit slip, all these other things. And I just got to probably go in here, get, have a little dispute. But anyway, all right, folks, I don't wish this on anybody. Honestly, I never thought this would be the way, I never thought this was going to be the ending, this process. I just figured heart attack, cancer, automobile accident, whatever. Never thought it was going to be like this, but you never know. We still don't know the ending, but all right, folks, I'm gonna check out of this depressing live chat that was unannounced. I really don't do this for the viewership. I just, like I said before, I feel like it's you're going to a confessional. Like, man, somebody save me. Somebody say something magical, like sprinkle fairy dust on me or something, and I can wake up tomorrow and just realize this is all over, or there's a solution or something. But in reality, there is no real good solution. Peace out, folks. It's March. Do what you can. Always trying to help somebody. Talk to you later. Peace.